This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Eddie Hearn is the king of double standards. This is according to the WBC President Mauricio Sulaiman, and there's quite a lot to break down this one, so maybe pause it and go grab yourself a coffee, because there'll be quite a lot to take in on this one. So why is he calling Eddie Hearn the king of double standards? Well, this goes to Eddie Hearn's recent comment saying that he's okay with Vasyl Lomachenko versus Luke Campbell for the vacant WBC title. Luke Campbell is his fighter, but he would have preferred it to have been Luke Campbell, who is the mandatory, to take on his other fighter, Devin Haney, who's number 3 ranked, because he can't fight number 2 ranked because he is currently participating in Ramadan. Okay, so it should have been number 1 versus number 3, according to Eddie Hearn. Vasyl Lomachenko, who is a champion of the WBA and WBO, shouldn't really be there. That's what Eddie Hearn is saying. Not that he's dead set against the fight, of course not. It's a huge opportunity for Luke Campbell. So that is a double standard. That is for sure. Mauricio Suleiman is absolutely correct from that point, because when you look at Vladimir Klitschko versus Anthony Joshua, Joshua was champion of the IBF and the WBA was vacant. Okay? So it's a similar kind of situation. Not with WBC, but even so. But the WBC, they are the king of double standards more than Eddie Hearn. Listen, I'm not saying that Eddie Hearn isn't full of double standards. He is. Of course he is. All boxing promoters and managers are, because they always want their way rather than other people get their way. Of course, that's just the way of the business, right? But while Mauricio Suleiman is correct, Mauricio Suleiman is the king of kings when it comes to double standards. He is the king of the North. He is king of all of it. Okay, he is the emperor. Right, because just look at what it is that he's done there. You see, he has ordered Vasyl Lomachenko, a champion from another sanctioned body, to fight Luke Campbell for the vacant title. I don't think too many people have an issue with that fight, to be honest. But he's done it, and he tried to do it with Adonis Stevenson as well, and when Sergey Kovalev as well. When Kovalev was champion of another sanctioning body, they mandated that Kovalev be the mandatory for their champion, Adonis Stevenson. So again, they've done it for that one. And also, look back as well, when Canelo was a WBC middleweight champion. You'll remember that Canelo vacated that title because they mandated Triple G to be facing Canelo, when Triple G was a champion of another sanctioning body. So Canelo said, stuff this, and just vacated it, right? So he's done this on several occasions, but here comes the double standards, okay? Where he can do all this, but yet he won't do it with Anthony Joshua against Wilder. He protects Deontay Wilder. He allows Wilder to have cherry pick after cherry pick after cherry pick and won't dare say anything, because clearly he has a very good relationship with the PBC. As a sanctioning body, you shouldn't have a good relationship with anybody. If you are going to have a good relationship with people, then it's all of them or none of them. Simple as that. It should be fair across the board for all sanctioning bodies, for any kind of promotional company whatsoever. But he shows favouritism to Don King, hence Bermane Stiverne being the mandatory, and with the PBC fighters. Just look at the WBC rankings. It's stacked full of PBC fighters. So he is the king of double standards on that point. Let's switch into heavyweights, as we touched on it just there, with Deontay Wilder. He's going to be taking on Dominic Breazeale, who is the mandatory. Again, this is Deontay Wilder's second mandatory defense in over 4 years. It's supposed to be every year. So again, they double standard because they allow Wilder to cherry pick and cherry pick and cherry pick, bypass mandatory after mandatory. Dillian Whyte is number 1 in the WBC for over a year now. I think about 18 months now. And he's yet to get a world title shot with Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder has openly said to Dillian Whyte, and Dillian Whyte showed the world that Deontay Wilder said he's going to freeze him out for 2 years. And the WBC are okay with this. So they install Dominic Breazeale as the mandatory, ahead of Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte, who's been taken on top 10 WBC ranked opponents. Lucas Brown was top 10. Derek Chisora was top 10. Robert Helenius was top 10. And Joseph Parker was top 4, I think, at that time. Dominic Breazeale has never beaten anybody in the top 10. Now, Dominic Breazeale, he was supposed to take on the then mandatory Bermane Stiverne. Again, Bermane Stiverne, why was he mandatory? Because he's a Don King fighter. Don King and Mauricio Suleiman's father had a great relationship, so Mauricio is doing that as a favour rather than what's warranted. So Dominic Breazeale versus Bermane Stiverne, that fell apart because Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz, that fight fell apart because Luis Ortiz forgot to put the high blood pressure medication on the form, so subsequently failed the PED test. Bermane Stiverne then pulled out of the Dominic Breazeale fight, so therefore at that point Dominic Breazeale lost his mandatory opportunity, should we say, because Bermane Stiverne pulled out and went and fought Wilder. So Bermane Stiverne lost to Wilder. Of course he did. That was always going to happen. But then Dominic Breazeale didn't have an opponent, so he ended up fighting Eric Molina. The WBC president, Mauricio Sulaiman, said, no, this is not for the mandatory, blah, 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 blah. He lied. It was for the mandatory position. Eric Molina should have been banned because he failed a PED test after the Joshua fight. This wasn't released until after the Dominic Breazeale fight, but being part of the WBC Clean Boxing Program, Mauricio Suleiman would have and probably should have known that Eric Molina shouldn't have been in that fight to start with. So there's the first one, okay? So Bermane Stiverne pulls out of the Dominic Breazeale fight after Dominic Breazeale was promised a shot at the mandatory position. So they allowed Dominic Breazeale to fight Eric Molina for the mandatory. Let's fast forward a little bit. Dillian Whyte has been number one for a long, long time. As I said, he's been taking on all the top guys. And another top guy in Oscar Rivas coming up. And he is the WBC Silver Heavyweight Champion. That means any opportunity for a mandatory, he should be given first refusal for a final eliminator at a minimum. But they bypassed him and allowed it for Dominic Breazeale. Eventually, after they ordered Tyson Fury to fight Deontay Wilder, even though Tyson Fury wasn't mandatory, Tyson Fury wasn't WBC Silver Champion, but they still mandated it. So they can do it for Tyson Fury, they can do it for Bermane Stiverne, they can do it for Dominic Breazeale, but they won't do it for Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte was then ordered to fight Dominic Breazeale for the mandatory because they thought Wilder versus Fury was going to happen again for the rematch. That fell apart. Dominic Breazeale gets pulled out of that fight with Dillian Whyte. So Dillian Whyte is no longer fighting for the mandatory. So it's exactly the same situation as when Breazeale was supposed to fight Bermane Stiverne. If you're keeping up with me, hopefully you are. So Dillian Whyte says, okay, fine. I'm now going to fight Oscar Rivas. Let's make this for the WBC Interim title. In other words, I fight the winner of Wilder versus Breazeale next. Mauricio Suleiman didn't allow it. So do you see the double standards? Why won't they allow it? Because, in my opinion, Dillian Whyte is not either American-based or with the PBC. These are the double standards, Mauricio Suleiman, that everybody is seeing. Everybody. And I know for anybody who's not really clued up with this whole story, I know it's sounding a little confusing. Just rewatch this video a couple of times and you will get it. So, and with Mauricio Suleiman saying that Eddie Hearn is the king of double standards, first of all, you're the king of double standards, as I've just proven, plus many other examples as well. But clearly, him saying that about Eddie Hearn shows that he has an issue with Eddie Hearn. Why does he have an issue with Eddie Hearn? Because the PBC have an issue with Eddie Hearn. Their champion, Deontay Wilder, has an issue with Eddie Hearn. Shady Finkel has an issue with Eddie Hearn. So therefore, Mauricio Suleiman also has an issue with Eddie Hearn. Therefore, doesn't want to upset old Mr. Paul Al Heyman and Shady Finkel and Deontay Wilder by granting one of Eddie Hearn's fighters a mandatory position. No. They don't want to do that. So Mauricio Suleiman, you slug. You are the king of double standards. What you are doing and what you have done with Dillian Whyte is disgusting. It's despicable. And for me, I think people should stop looking at the WBC and saying that you need WBC as undisputed. For me, in my opinion, because of your handling of Dillian Whyte, which is absolutely vile, you guys need to be held accountable. Even though Dillian Whyte's been paying all the sanction fees, you've got Dominic Breazeale. He has never paid not one sanctioning fee, not one. Dillian Whyte's paid several. Luis Ortiz never paid a sanction fee, yet he got a world title shot. Tyson Fury never paid a sanction fee, yet he got a world title shot. And you ordered a damn rematch as well. And you're perfectly okay after Dominic Breazeale for Wilder to take on a rematch with Luis Ortiz. Again, above Dillian Whyte. And then go fight Adam Kownacki. Again, another guy who's never paid a WBC sanctioning fee. Above Dillian Whyte. You just don't want Dillian Whyte there, even though he's been paying your wages and your entire staff's wages, and you guys have been spending them on stupid looking belts for Canelo versus Triple G, Canelo versus Jacobs, Canelo versus Chavez Jr., Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor. So you're wasting that money. Dillian is contributing towards this, and you won't make him mandatory, which is disgusting. Wilder owes you minimum 2 more mandatories next, minimum. Because as I said, he's been champion for over 4 years, and he's about to take his 2nd mandatory. So there's no reason in the world why you can't do that for Dillian Whyte. You are more than willing to do it for Dominic Breazeale, more than willing to do it for Bermane, and more than willing to do it for Tyson Fury. So therefore, you should be more than willing to do it for Dillian Whyte to keep with consistency. But you're not doing it. This is why I was about to say, people need to boycott the WBC. People need to be letting him know that this is not good enough. And Mauricio Suleiman hiding behind the WBC committee, oh, it's all in the hands of a vote. Eddie Hearn, he needs to send through the paperwork to appeal it. First of all, there should never have been an appeal because you should have done the right thing to start with. It's very simple. So people need to get onto social media, get onto your emails and bombard the WBC saying that this is disgusting. Share this video around. Do whatever you can. Get all the fighters to protest against the WBC for what they've done with Dillian Whyte. Not just Dillian Whyte, they have a history with other fighters outside of the PBC. And to be honest with you, I'm quite disappointed in Rob Tebbert on Boxing Social, who interviewed with Mauricio Suleiman and didn't press him on it. You bottled it is what you done. You bottled it. You know Dillian Whyte. Are you not friendly with Dillian Whyte? Shouldn't you have stuck up for him? What are you worried about? Either way, WBC, Mauricio Suleiman, you are the king of double standards. You want to rely on a committee to have another vote on it? You are the president of the WBC. What you say goes. Stop making these stupid belts. Stop protecting Deontay Wilder and looking after the PBC. And do the right thing. Make Dillian Whyte the mandatory. If he beats Oscar Rivas. Listen, no guarantees in life. But if he defeats Oscar Rivas, he should fight Wilder versus Breazeale. Next, you should not be allowing Luis Ortiz rematch. You should not be allowing it, but you will. You are the king of double standards. And the pies, let's be honest. Mauricio Suleiman, pull your socks up. You want to do something else? Hell, make Anthony Joshua mandatory. Stop making or allowing Deontay Wilder to avoid Anthony Joshua. You are allowing it. All you guys care about is money. Well, that's all you guys care about. Money from Al Heyman and the PBC. Money from Vasyl Lomachenko. Money from Floyd Mayweather. Money from Saul Canelo Alvarez. That's why. That's why you do it. It's pretty obvious. Anyway, absolutely disgusting. I said for all you guys, share this video around. Copy in every single fighter you could think of. If you can't fit it all in your timeline, redo it again after. Just keep on doing it. Copy in loads and loads of fighters. Get them guys to retweet this video and send a message. Make sure you copy in the WBC. Make sure you copy them in. That we are not happy with how they are doing things. And for me, I'm going to start calling Anthony Joshua undisputed because the WBC are falling below the threshold, in my opinion. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, and of course subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.